Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast and welcome to STL Sunday. STL Sunday is our show where we have a look at 3D printed things for wargaming. Yes, we've got Blood Bowl. Yes, we've got fantasy gaming. And sometimes we're going to be looking at some sci-fi. Now, if you've been following the channel or Blood Bowl for a while, you would have heard of UGNI Miniatures. UGNI Miniatures is one of the best STL manufacturers for Blood Bowl teams. We've got loads of his teams in the championship for very good reason. But UGNI has produced some new ugly miniatures. He is delving into sci-fi, he's delving into sci-fi skirmish, and he's created a second My Mini Factory tribe, like a Patreon, but just on Mini Factory for STLs, and it is ugly miniatures, and his first drop is very, very, very cool. Okay, so let's have a look at ugly miniatures and the first drop for them. So, ugly miniatures, let's have a look. So the first drop here, which I absolutely bloomin' love, have been called Void Stingers or Waspids. Now, if you're a Kill Team fan, you'll know what this is all about. Basically, we've got some alternate sculpts here for Vespids. Now, Vespids, when they dropped in Kill Team last year, were some of the best models that Games Workshop have ever produced. They're the best models to ever been featured in Warhammer, I think. And now we may well have a very creepy upgrade for them. So the release for their first month for Ugly is this fire team. Oh, we got the May release preview there as well. Okay, we'll have a sneaky peek at that as well. It's taken me a few weeks to get around to doing this, but I am very, very, very buzzing, if you will. Bug pun, absolutely positively intended. So the first release, let's move my little face down here, are the Void Stingers, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, might be a little bit more than that, 10 of the Waspids with different weapons, and you get the little drone commander as well. Let's see if my internet can keep up with my eagerness to look at these miniatures, or whether, yeah, here we go. Okay, so what we got here, we got the commander on the left hand side, you got the pistol guy on the right hand side, and you got the little drone man as well. In fact, let's actually read what it says. So you got the Waspid leader and the drone, you got the Waspid sniper, you got the Waspid flamer, the grenade launcher, the pistol guy, and 6 Waspids. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bug boys and a little drone there as well. And I think we can see everything in the picture here. So you've got all the different weapons to choose from. In fact, let's open this image in a new tab and let's try and do this. Here we go, F11 please, so that we can actually have a look at the sculpts. So UGNI has outdone himself. In fact, if we start with the commander, you can get a kind of a cool idea of the bug vibe. So where the Vespids in 40k are essentially wasp aliens, we have carried this over hugely here. But instead of them being kind of smooth and gribbly, these guys have got this very cool angular insectoid, just every single bit of it. Whether it's the synthetic armor look or the actual skin and chitin, every single piece of this is just so buggy. Now the guns, really, he's done a brilliant job here of making the guns work absolutely positively opposite, in the way of, like, you've got the organic skin, you've got the organic armor that blends into the skin, you've got the wing stuff, and then you've got these clean, crisp squares and shapes of the weapons. Now in 40k lore, that's because the Wasp guys get the guns from the Tau guys. In UGNI's lore, I don't know, but the fact is the guns stick out really, really, really nicely, and you can clearly see what's a rifle and what's an alternate gun. So here we go, we can actually get a shot of the face. So the commander's got the helmet, he's got the command helmet, which actually befits this unit nicely. But if we zoom in on these guys, you can see kind of like the facial structure. They've got multiple eyes, they've got these creepy mandibles with brutal tusks, you've got the big heavy kind of like claw hoof feet, which I think is carried over really well from the original designs. And then you've got the little claw arms as well. And they've got this armor on their shoulder and their thigh and their feet that kind of carries over into the commander's technological armor, which makes it really well done. So you can actually see like that the commander's armor plates are designed to fit onto his biological armor plates, which is just a design thing that I am absolutely over the moon with. All right, so the first release is a full kill team, basically, of Vespids, and they come pre-supported. So let's have a look at the STLs, and then let's check out some prints. Okay, so let's jump straight into Chitsu Box and have a look at, I think, if we've got 12 models here, we have got 12 models here. This is all of the sculpts, and we've got them all here live, so let's just drop them up 45 degrees so we can get a better angle at them. So let's start with this guy because he's slap bang in the middle. So as we kind of look through the model, I mean, we've looked at the renders, but when you look at the STLs, you can see how much texture is actually on them. So look at like the chitin, the natural armor on the bugs here. And I'm gonna say it, you know, I always say it when I look at these STLs, this is a kind of thing that takes contrast paints really nicely, or a cheeky little dry brush. I mean, my favorite method of painting at the moment is like doing all the contrast stuff and then giving everything a kind of light dusting dry brush of Wraithbone. It kind of, Wraithbone or whatever skull paint you've got. If you've got Bleach Bone, that's the OG, that's the best. But whatever you've got absolutely works. And you can see, as we kind of scroll around, you've got the mandibles on their faces, you've got the kind of creepy, very, very creepy mouths. Like, they have got very creepy faces. They've got 3 sets of eyes. You've got their kind of antenna over the top, which I've got to say, like, first thing we're going to put out here is when I did the pre-supports, none of it broke, which was wicked. And you can kind of see that their antenna are kind of chunky, which makes them printable, and it makes them, I think, infinitely paintable. So you've got all the standard insects with what I think is one of, I mean, it's obviously designed to look like the Vespids, but it is one of my favorite original sci-fi designs. Like, these guys, they are really gribbly, and I will be doing everything I can to try and convince him to make more, make a full-on army of this, because I want to run these in one-page rules. You can do already, you can run them in Kill Team, you can run them in one-page rules as well, although you've got to use the community books because of the way the kill teams are built. Right, here we go. So this is this the sniper, or is this just a regular gun guy? It's not the sniper. I think the sniper's got a very long gun. He's over there. So this guy is one of the dudes with the command helmet. So this is the commander at the back. You can see he's got his little bug visor, and then you've got one of these extra guys, which I assume is like the squad leader or something, who's got this helmet on. So you've got a little bit of the armor on there as well that covers up the standard armor plating of their skin. And again, I really like the way you've got the organic textures, and it cuts into smooth, crisp, well-defined technological layers. I don't think it matters what color you want to paint that. That's going to come out really, really, really nicely. And I am all about the easy painting. Let's have a look at the squad commander. So you've got one helmet design here, and you've got the other helmet design here with the creepy bug eyes, which I think just really highlights the alienness of this kill team, of this faction, which is very sweet. This guy's one of my favorites. He's the flamer. He is the flamer. He's just pulling back on the handle there and flaming on, which is very cool. Right, this is the sniper guy. Now, sadly, the sniper guy was the model I was most excited to paint. So I printed him and I painted him, and it was rubbish. So he's gone in the bin, and I will not be painting him on this episode, but I will be painting him at some point, because it's just such a cool thing, right? The tactical advantage of having winged blokes be able to fly to a point and then just drop a sniper somewhere. And it's just a really interesting thing. You've got, right, our Geonosians, right, from Star Wars. You've just got, it's just such a cool enemy to fight, or, you know, to hire, or however you want to do it. And there's the pistol guy as well. So UGNI has cracked out a model for each of the models that fit in the kill team. And on top of this, every single one of them is supported as well. So let's grab one of the supports just so I can show them off. Now, these models I think are mostly the supported versions. I did print off some on my own just because I've got an S2, so I'll print all the supported ones, and then I'll print some of my own supports just to see if I can do it better. But look at this, like, they've done a really good job getting into the minutiae, like really small touch points on the claws. I had no breakages at all, which was awesome. Like, UGNI, whoever he's using to do his 3D prints, is up there. I'm really impressed. Okay, those are the STLs, those are the renders, those are the units. Let's look at the models. Okay, so let's have a look at some printed models. So I printed these on the Saturn II with standard settings, 0.04 layer lines, and they are flipping fantastic. So I tried to be clever with these. I tried to pop a black coverage on them. I primed them in black, and then I tried to do a zenithal, and then I painted a couple, and I thought it looked awful. So I've gone over these guys with Wraithbone. And what we'll do in a second is I've got a few paints that I think will pop up pretty decent. Thank you, Airbrush. and we'll give them a go. We'll chuck some paint on, because I always talk about these prints and say how the texture is going to take a contrast really well, and I think we're going to put that to the test. But for now, let's actually have a look at some of the prints. So this is, oh, do you know what? This is one of the neutron blasters, I think, or is this the flamer guy? I think that might be the flamer guy, and these are the standard rifle dudes. So I absolutely love these. UGNI has crushed it with the whole alien insect vibe, and he's done such a good job of putting like armor on there that blend in so nicely to the whole insect texture. Great integral bases there as well. That's one thing you've got to be so careful of when you've got these flying monsters and these flying bits of like any kind of kit. Just having them mounted to a base in a way that's not going to end up with them being absolutely destroyed in like an instant is so important. All right, actually this is the flamer guy, and he does actually fully look like he's pulling back on the lever and spewing some goo, as they say. Very cool. And again, with just basic settings, I used UGNI's pre-supports as well. Like, okay, I've not done a very good job cleaning up some of these supports, but that's on me. Yeah, they are very cool. So we're going to do a size check, and we're going to use our ever trusty scale comparison for you Blood Bowl players out there. So this is a Blood Bowl Black Orc. He is a standard big guy. That's not fair to say. He's a bigger standard guy. He's strength 4 in Blood Bowl. So he will outsize a guardsman. And you can see that these guys, they're quite big, but they are not girthy to the point where they look like they're a space marine. Like, they're bigger than a standard infantryman because they're kind of built that way. But they've got the texture on the guns as well. This is going to be some very easy painting. Wow, I've done a bad job with the supports here. Again, that's on me. So if you're a better painter than I, you can get some pretty cool effects on these guys. But we're just going to absolutely slather them with some contrast paints. So size-wise, yeah, I put them on the 32mm base. I'm not sure what base they're supposed to be in, Kill Team or 40k, but 32 I think is the proper size. They would probably fit on a 25. Do I have any 25s kicking around? No, I don't. Do I have anything? No, I don't. So, I mean, you can, as you can tell from the feet, there's no, right, another thing he's done a really good job of, like, here's the pistol guy. None of them have widespread feet. So actually, if you wanted to put these on 25s, you would be able to do that without having to worry too much. All of the poses are brilliant, and all the different guns he's done a really cool job with as well. And I think this is one of my favorite poses, just sort of swooping back, gunning down. Yeah, very cool. Right, let's put some paint on them. So we chucked on some contrast paint. Let's have a look and see if it's dried already. So we first started off with Imperial Fist, and yeah, here we go. This is something I am very pleased with. So they're probably not entirely dry yet because it's only been a few minutes, but the first layer of Imperial Fist contrast has gone on there. Now I have put this paint on thick. Each of the different paints I've used has gone on really thick because I just was like, right, let's just chuck it on and see what happens. And immediately, like, you are getting that bug vibe. So once this dries fully, I think you're going to get almost perfect tone with Imperial Fist. It's going to be full on yellow. Then to pad it out, I'm going to want to pick out some bits, a little bit of a dry brush, definitely a sepia shade. That's my favorite at the moment. Dry brush up, and I think this will be painted in like no time at all. So I started out with the Imperial Fists contrast from Games Workshop, and I do really like that. Like I said, I printed a couple of them before and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go, so I've binned them off. So I'm trying again over a full-on Wraithbone paint. Now second, we took Zealot Yellow speed paints. It is the 2.0 one, which is pretty cool. And again, I've put it on quite heavy and it's still not dry, but I do like to see the tone. Now I did put it on a bit heavy. In fact, if you, I've missed a bit. Oh, what an absolute fail. So I like the kind of semi-orange tone that we're getting with this one. It kind of brings out the buggy nature. I do like that, although I think this is just really punchy, and I think because I tend to put a shade over it anyway, oh, I think I'm still leaning Imperial Fist. And we also did Fire Giant Orange. Now this is Speed Paint 1.0, so the flow isn't quite as good as the 2.0. And I don't know about this one. Like, it looks quite orange in person. On camera, a little bit less so. But actually, with a bit of the light shining in there, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think there's probably... It's not as orange as I'd like, but I don't have a games book. Oh, but that is so bright and beaming. But I'll tell you what, this one is a really good one, I think, because it shows off the detail better. So we've looked at the STLs already. We kind of looked at the size and looked at it, but I wanted to chuck a contrast on there because I think it will help kind of visualize how quick these models are going to paint up because of the levels of texture and detail that UGNI has put on it. And you look at these models in this poorly done coverage of contrast and speed paints, and tell me you don't think you could paint these up real good, real quick. Okay, so I love this. I love all this. I think this is brilliant. Now, whether you're going orange, can we get the zoomy? Yes, we can. Thank you. Whether you're going pixely orange or beautiful yellow, like I am a big fan of the yellow. I'm actually very, very, very impressed with that. These models, look at that. Look at that. They come together really nicely. With, oh, that is, yeah, okay, bit of sepia, a bit of dry brush, and these are going to look wicked. Yep, no, Imperial Fist contrast. I know going for kind of yellow wasps is a bit basic, but sign me up. The point is, go and support Ugly Miniatures. Go and support UGNI on his journey into sci-fi stuff, because he's got big plans and he's a great sculptor. And I don't know, if you're like me and you're a gamer, there's some gaming you can do. And there's some wargaming you can do with this stuff, and they look very cool on the battlefield. So anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think, and we'll be back soon with more wargaming content. Happy printing.